Imagine waking up thousands of miles from home, surrounded by strangers pointing and laughing, as if you were an exhibit. In 1904, over 1,000 Filipinos were shipped to Missouri and placed in what became known as the Philippine Human Zoo. This wasn't ancient history, this was just over a century ago. Today, we uncover the shocking story behind the St. Louis World's Fair and how this moment shaped history. The Louisiana Purchase Exposition, or St. Louis World's Fair was a grand display of America's power and innovation. It showcased the latest inventions, cultures, and achievements to more than 20 million visitors. But beneath this celebration was a darker goal: to justify America's recent colonization of the Philippines. The U.S. wanted to prove it was a civilizing force, and what better way than to turn people into exhibits? Over 1,100 Filipinos from more than a dozen ethnic groups were taken from their homeland and sent across the Pacific. Some were coerced, others lured with promises of education and opportunity. After a long and grueling month-long journey, they arrived in Missouri, thousands of miles from home, and were placed in artificial villages. These displays weren't built to celebrate their culture, but to paint them as uncivilized, reinforcing America's claim of being a superior, civilizing power. The fair's centerpiece was the Igorot Village. Organizers sensationalized the Igorot people, exaggerating their traditions, like dog-eating to draw massive crowds. Spectators lined up daily to watch them dance, cook, and perform rituals, completely stripped of privacy and dignity. This spectacle wasn't about culture, it was about power. For most Americans, this was their first time seeing Filipinos. The fair reinforced racist beliefs. Newspapers called Filipinos savages and uncivilized. Exhibits were staged to prove that colonization was necessary. The U.S. painted itself as a benevolent teacher, while Filipinos were shown as students in need of guidance. It was imperial propaganda, carefully crafted to shape public opinion. Some Filipino participants resisted in small ways, speaking out about their treatment, but their voices were drowned out by the spectacle. One Igorot man, when interviewed, said he felt like a caged animal. Yet for some, the experience was a chance to see American society firsthand, sparking complex feelings of fascination and resentment. The Philippine Exposition shaped how Americans saw the Philippines for generations. It solidified stereotypes and justified U.S. rule over the islands. Today, these photographs and stories remind us how colonialism dehumanized entire nations for entertainment. The St. Louis World's Fair wasn't just a party, it was propaganda on a grand scale. This is a chapter of history many people have never heard of. Should this story be taught more widely? Leave your thoughts in the comments. If you found this eye-opening, share this video so we can honor the Filipinos who endured this humiliation and never let history repeat itself.